How you doing today, guys? Welcome back to another day of 7th grade math. This is Mr. Gomez, your favorite teacher in the whole world. And today we're gonna go over the STAAR that we took last week, the mock STAAR that we took last week, and this is the actual one. Remember, we broke it into 3 sections. This is gonna be part 1, which has actually only 10 questions. So we're gonna go over these real STAAR-like questions. So, number one, it says Fatima paid for 5 pallets of grass to be delivered. Each pallet cost $129.95. She also paid delivery for $76.20. What is the total amount, keyword, what is the total amount that she paid? Whenever you see the word total, that means you're going to have to add something up. You're going to have to add something up. Now, what do we know? We're going to read this again. What do we know? We know that she paid for 5 pallets to be delivered. We know that each pallet is $129, and the delivery fee is that. So we're going to have like an equation. I know that she's going to have 5 pallets, 5P if you want. This is the price per pallet. Then she also has to pay the delivery fee. Equals how much? The total, right? You don't have to do it like this. You can straight up. Well, if I buy 5 pallets, each pallet is $129.95. I get 5 of them. How much do I pay? Well, all you have to do is multiply those 2 numbers together. 129.95 times 5 gives you 649.75. Is that one of your answer choices? Of course it is, right? Of course it is. But there's one thing that we haven't added to this, right? Because remember, look at this keyword. Now, if you look at the answer choices, well, you know it's not going to be C. There's no way it can be C, right? If you pick B because you stop right there, you're going to get it wrong because you still need to add what? The delivery fee. So you got to add $76.20. Make sure you line them up. This is 95. This is 5. So it ends in 95. So it's not going to be that one. 5, you carry the 1, that's 11, and 1 is 12. Carry the 1, and this is 7. So the answer is going to be A. That easy. Super easy, super simple. You have 5 pallets. You know the price for each of the pallets. You have to pay for the delivery fee because it's telling you that she paid for the delivery fee. There's no way around that. If you have any questions about this problem, please leave them down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so if you haven't done so already. If you haven't seen my other channel, MTV Alex, I'll leave a card for you on the corner up there. Make sure you check that out and subscribe as well. Again, but if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And if you want to support the channel, link down in the descriptions. Let's move to number 2. Says Narisa has 5 pink bows. She has 5 of them. 1 blue. And 4 purple. What does and means before we move on? And. What does it mean by and? We're gonna have to what? Add, right? And means to add. In a box, she randomly choose 1 bow from the box. What is the probability that Narisa will choose a purple one? So we're looking for the purple. This is a probability questions. Probability. Remember, this is going to be part over total. This is very simple. The total is going to be how many total we have in there. We have 5 and 1 and 4. Which is how many? 5 plus 1 plus 4, which is 10. So my total number of votes is 10. The part is what I'm looking for, what I want my outcome to be. In this case, I know there's going to be 4 purple ones. Now, at this point, you can be done with it if you had the simplest form. But in this case, I don't see anything that says 4 tenths on my answer choices. So that means that you're going to have to simplify this fraction. You can start it by dividing both of them by 2 and see if you stop right there. So if I divide this by 2, I also have to do it at the bottom, right? So this is going to be 2 fifths. Is that one of my answer choices? It is. Now, can I simplify this any further? No, I cannot. So my answer is indeed going to be G. Again, probability is just part of our total. Whatever you want to happen or what they're asking you to get, try to get over the total possible outcomes. If you have any questions about this type of problems, probability problems, make sure you check the playlist. I have a full playlist solely on probability. Check it out. Number 3, box and whiskers plots. The box plots, and I also have a video about this one. Make sure you look at the playlist and find this playlist. I think this is gonna be under data maybe. So the box plots shown the box plots shown the target heart rates of men 20 to 40 years old and men from 50 to 70 years old. So we have the top box and whiskers plot is going to be for the younger men, and the bottom box and whiskers plot is going to be for the older men. And we have data that we need to find out. So when we look at box and whiskers plots, we have 5 different things that we're going to be looking for. We have the lower range, the upper range, the lower quadrile, the upper quadrile, and the median. Okay? The lower range is going to be the first point. The upper range is going to be the bigger point. Then we have the lower quadrile is going to be the median of the lower range, or the first half. And then the upper quadrile is going to be the median for the second half. Okay? And then we have the median, which is going to be the middle point in the box and whiskers. So for the top one, let's do this one in red. The lower range is going to be what? 90. The top range is going to be 170. The lower quadrile is going to be 110 for the younger men. The upper quadrile is going to be 150, and the median is going to be 130. Now we're going to do the same thing, but for the older men. So the lower range for the lower men is going to be about 75. Then the upper range is going to be 145. The lower quadrile, 95. Upper quadrile is going to be 125. And the median is going to be 110. Right? So it says, which statement is best supported by the information in the box plots? A, the range of the data for the younger men is less than the range of the data for the the older men. To find the range, the actual range, you're going to get the upper range and lower range and subtract it. So it's saying that from this one, from here to here, we have how many? 170 minus 90 is going to be what? 80. And then from here to here, we have 145 minus 75, which is 70. Is that less than the older ones? No. Right? because we have 80 for the younger, 70 for the older. And he's saying the opposite. B, the median for the data of the younger is less than the median for the older. Let's look at the medians. Which one it says is less than, right? We're looking at this one right here. Let's do a pink. Which one's less? The younger or the older ones? I can clearly see that this is less, right? For the older. So it's saying that the younger is less than, and that is not true either. The minimum target heart rate for the younger men is less than the minimum target for the older ones. Look at the minimum. Minimum is going to be where? We have the minimum right here. Which one is less, the older or the younger? I can clearly see that it's gonna be the older, and it says is for the younger one in this case. So no, it's opposite of what they're saying. So my answer must be D. Let's see what it says. The interquartile range of the data for the younger man is greater than the interquartile range for the older one. Saying that the box, when you look at the box itself, is saying that this one is bigger than this one. Is that true? Just by looking at the distance, it is. And this is 40. By the way, 150 minus 110 is 40. 125 minus 95 is 30. So it is true. The answer has to be D. If you have any questions about box and Whiskers plots, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. Let's move on. Number 4, we have graphs, so I guess we're going to compare something. It says Pamela rode her bike at a constant rate of 0.1 kilometers per minute. Constant rate, we're talking about K equals Y over X. That's the formula, and that formula is given to you on your formula sheet at the bottom. And it's going to be given to you on every single test. For constant rate of change, you have a formula. Well, you'll see it. K equals Y divided by X. That's the formula. Says, which table represents Y, the number of kilometers Pamela rode in X minutes? Okay, so it says 0.1 kilometer per 1 minute. So basically it's kind of like a 1-to-1, right? Per minute, 1 minute. So we're looking for the unit rate. So it says that so I'm looking for something that is going to be, so if she rides for 0.1 minute, she's going to travel, 0.1, in 1 minute, she's going to travel 0.1 kilometer. So that means in 2 minutes, it's going to be 0.2, then 0.3, 0.4, 100, 1, whatever, right? So I'm looking something that looks like 1-to-1. And in this case, it says for 5 minutes, she rides 0.1 kilometer. No, right? For 5 minutes, again, it has the same number right here. That's not what I'm looking for. For 5 minutes, she rides 0.5 kilometers. That kind of looks like it's going to be my answer. And this one is just adding a 0.1, 0.1, 0.1 for everything. So I don't think it's going to be that one. Again, if you want to look at the formula, you're looking for K, and all you have to do is divide Y divided by X. So 0.5 divided by 5 gives you 0.1, which is what you're looking for right there. And if you do it again, for the second one right here, you do 1 divided by 10 is going to give you 0.1. So K, the constant of proportionality, is always going to be 0.1, which is what you're looking for. If you have any questions about this problem number 4, leave them down in the comments below. And if you want to see more problems like this, check my playlist. There's a section for unit rates or constant of proportionality. Number 5, a stereo speaker in the shape of a triangular pyramid has a height of 6 inches. Wow, I think we're talking about what? Volume. The area of the base is 11 square inches. Area of the base is 11 square inches. What is the volume of the speaker in cubic inches? Again, volume. This formula is given to you. This formula is given to you on the formula sheets right there, volume. And I think we're looking at a pyramid, so we're going to use the bottom one. We're going to use 1/3 BH or BH divided by 3. Okay? But this is given to you. You don't have to memorize it. V equals uppercase B times the height of it, and then divide by 3. I know I'm using that one because over here tells me that it's a triangular pyramid. So that means that I have a pyramid in the shape whose base is a triangle. In this case, the base is at the bottom. Okay? So to find the volume for this, you have to find the area of the base. Now, if you were, in this case, they already give it to you. They already gave you the area of the base is 11 square inches, so you don't have to find it. So this right here is already calculated for you. 11 inches square. You don't have to find it. This is big B. They give you the height of the pyramid, which is 6 inches. They give you that one. So all we got to do now is multiply and divide. So to find the volume, I'm going to take the 11 inches, which is the area of the base. I'm going to multiply by the height of the pyramid, which is 6. And then I'm going to divide by 3. 11 times 6 is 66 divided by 3 gives you a whopping, look at the answer choices. Before you divide is 66, right? There are answers that are greater than 66, so it's not going to be B. Now, if you pick 66 because you did not divide, you're going to get it wrong. If you divide by 2 instead of divided by 3, you're going to pick D, which is not the answer. Because when you divide 66 divided by 3 gives you 22 inches cubed, which is A. Easy so far? I have a full playlist about pyramids and prisms. I'll also show you a fast way to find volume of pyramids and prisms. Make sure you check those playlists out. Number 6, a club sold standard and premium memberships. The graph shows the number of each type of membership sold over the last 4 weeks. Which statement is supported by the information in the graph? So we have standard and premium memberships. We have the number of weeks at the bottom, and we have the number of memberships of each of those memberships at the y-axis. Remember, every time you have a graph, you can also label it. This is Y and this is X. Now let's look. All we can do in this one is read each statement and select the one that makes sense. Okay? There's no way around it. I can see that in week 1 they sold 55 standard and 20 premium. I can see that. On week 2 they sold 45 standard and 25 premium. I can see that. And then 70 and 50 for the 3rd week. But at the 4th week, look, they sold less standard than premiums. compared to the other weeks, right? So that's something that they might tell us, right? In the other 3 weeks, the standard memberships were higher sales than the premium membership, something that you can look at. So they sold 60 and over here they sold 95. Let's see what they have to say. It says, the number of memberships sold during week 4 was 75% more than the number of premiums in week 1. Wow. So we're comparing premiums. Let's see, premium for week 4 and week 1. We're looking at this and this. So let's see, we have part of our total, right? Because we need to find the percentage. It says, and this one was 20. And on the last one was 95. What is the difference? It's a 75%. So if you multiply 20 times 1.75 gives you 35. So that one doesn't make sense. But what is 95 times 0.25 gives you 23. So this would have to be in 23 and it's not. Let's look at G. The total number of memberships sold during week 1 was equal to the number of memberships sold during week 2. Well, they have 55 and they have 20. So that's a total of 75 for week 1. And then they have 45 and 25, which gives you 70. Is it the same? No. Week 1 sold 5 more. The number of premium memberships sold during week 3 was 2 times the number of premium memberships sold during week 2. So we're looking at the premiums right here for this one and this one. This is for H. Let's look at H. 2 times. So this one sold 25. 25 times 2 gives you 50, right? What number is this? Is that 50? It seems to me that it is at 50, so this is a probability. So week 2 was 25, week 3 was 50, so 25 times 2 gives you 50. That makes that a true statement. J, the total number of memberships sold during week 4 was 35 less than the total number of memberships sold during week 3. Just by looking at the graphs of week 4, they're taller than the graphs on week 3. So that's not going to be my answer. My answer has to be H. Like I said, all you can do is reach each one of them and then go back to the graph and look at the data provided to you in the graph. All right, so the answer is H. Let's look at the next one, number 7. It says, Vincent flipped 3 coins. When they're talking about coins and dice, I know they're going to be talking about probability. And I have a full playlist about probability. Make sure you check that out. It says, Vincent flipped 3 coins during a probability, and it says right there, during a probability experiment. The outcome for the first 40 trials are shown in the table. Based on the information in the table, in how many of the next 120 trials would the outcome be exactly 2 of the coins showing heads? So let's look at this. How many times did they do it for over here? They did a total of 40. Remember, this is going to be a part of our total question. The part is going to be what they're asking for, which is heads. The total is 40. So we have the 2 of them show heads, which is going to be this one right here. How many times? 16. 16 out of 40. If you divide by 4, that's 4/10. 1 quarter equals to 2/5. 2/5 equals, so this is gonna be my probability. 2/5, 2 out of 5 times. So we're gonna do it 120 times. This is x, so this is gonna be cross products. 5x equals to 240. 240 divided by 5 gives me what are you doing, mister? How do you got that? Okay, let's do this again. So my total number of things that I did is 40, because I did the experiment 40 times, right? The question says 2 of the coins showing heads, which is gonna be right there, because there's 3 coins, but I want 2 of them to show heads. So how many times is that? Well, that's gonna be 16 times out of the 40. I'm gonna simplify this. When I simplify this, I get 2/5. That's gonna be my probability of the experiment done. Now, if I wanna find what will happen after that, because we're gonna do it 120 times, we're gonna multiply my probability times like that. This is something that we learned before, right? So now we have to do cross products. We're gonna multiply these 2. That's gonna be 5x. And then we're gonna multiply these 2. 120 times 2, which is 240. Now, when I divide by 5, I gotta do it on the other side as well. So x equals to 48, which is D. So out of the 120 trials, I can expect 48 times to get 2 coins to land on heads. All right, if you have any questions about this one, check the other videos, check the playlist on my channel, and let's move on. And if you haven't done so by this time, thank you for staying behind, or keep on watching, and please subscribe. We have three more questions to go. Says number 8, Chris bought 10.4 gallons of gasoline. There are approximately 3.8 in 1 gallon. What measurement is the closest to the number of liters of gasoline Chris bought? So we're gonna have to do a unit conversion. We also provide you with the conversion sheet right after behind the formula sheet. But over here, they're telling you what the conversion is. If you go from customary to metric, you multiply. But if you go from metric to customary, you divide. So in this case, we're going from customary to metric. No, yes, from customary to metric. So we're gonna have to multiply. It's that simple, by the factor. And the factor in this case is gonna be that right there. I purchased 10.4 gallons. Every gallon equals 3.8 liters. It's approximately, right? So all we gotta do is multiply by 3.8. Let's just estimate real quick. This is really close to 4, right? This is close to 10. 10 times 4 is 40. Let's look at my answer. I haven't even done anything, right? I just estimated, but let's look at my answer choices. It has to be close to 40. Let's look at G. Is that even close? It's way off, right? Let's see what happens if you divide by any chance. 10 divided by 4 gives you 2.5. If you would have divided, you would have probably picked G. But we're multiplying. And again, it has to be close to 40. Let's look at F. Is that close to 40? No. H is very close, right? What about G? Nope. My answer must be H. Let's go ahead and multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 0 is 0. Bring down the 3. And then 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 2. 3 zeros, bring down the 2, and this is 3. Add everything up. 2, 5, 0, 4. So how many decimal places? 1, 2. right there. So my answer has to be H, because look at the question. Closest to. We're still estimating. We didn't even have to do it like that. I was just estimating at the beginning. The actual answer is 40.52, but the closest one is going to be H, 39.52 liters. Again, from customary to metric, you multiply. From metric to customary, you divide. Number 9, which line represents the solution to the inequality? 125x plus 200 is greater than or equal to 1200. Now, I showed you before, these symbols does not include the answer, therefore you get an open circle, and these symbols include the answer, and you have closed circle. We have vocabulary for this that we went over before, and if we look at the symbol I'm looking at right there, so my answer has to be included, correct? Before doing anything, C and D are gone. They're out of the question. And unless you multiply or divide by a negative number, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, the sign is going to flip to the opposite side. I don't see any negative numbers multiplying over here, so I'm not gonna flip the sign. The sign points into the direction the arrow is pointing. So in this case, I'm pretty sure my answer is going to be A, and I haven't done anything. I just eliminated by doing what I already know. I'm going to keep my answer to be A, but I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this. 125x plus 200 greater than or equal to 1200. First step. We gotta isolate x, right? We have to leave x by itself. So I'm gonna subtract 200, and what I do to one side, I better do it on the other side. If I don't do it, I'm gonna get it wrong. Cancels out, and I'm left with 1,000 on this side. My sign has not changed, and then I'm left with 125x over here. I have one more step, and that step is to undo that multiplication. How do we do? How do we undo a multiplication? You might ask. Well, by dividing. By dividing by what, mister? By whatever number that is with the x. What you do to one side, must do to the other side. This cancels out. It's positive, so I don't flip my sign. My sign stays like that. You do TiVo. And the answer is going to be 8. With a remainder of 0. Look at that. Look at this. Closed circle pointing to the right, as this thing is pointing to the right as well. See? By process of elimination, I was able to get my answer without doing any work. Because we know what the rules are, or we need to remember what those rules are. Okay? If you need more help with this, please check my playlist. There's playlists on equations and inequalities. Check those videos out. And if you still have questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help you. Again, please subscribe if you haven't done so. Please subscribe to MTV Alex, and let's move on. Number 10. This is going to be probably a really easy question. Venn diagram. Which Venn diagram best represents the relationship among integers, natural numbers, rational numbers, and whole numbers? This is the very first thing that we learned in 7th grade from a previous grade level. Because we should have learned this either in 5th or 6th grade. Okay? Okay. At the beginning of the year, we went about integers. And I know that we have, first of all, the first numbers that we have are the natural numbers. Natural numbers are just your counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, blah, blah. Keep on going to a positive infinity. And then we have whole numbers, which are the same, but you also include the 0. Okay? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 keep on going to infinity. You will never stop. And then we have rational numbers. And the difference right now, so basically each one of the previous categories is going to be included on the new category. So all natural numbers are whole numbers. All whole numbers and natural numbers are rational. My answer is going to be F, just FYI. But then let's talk about rational numbers real quick. Rational numbers, you have your negative numbers. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. From negative infinity to positive infinity, no decimals, no fractions. Okay? However, if you have something like 15/3, that can also be a rational number, because when you simplify that, you get 5. Right? And then for integers, we have all the terminating and repeating fractions and decimals, including positive or negatives. So for example, over here I can have 0.2, -1.3. I can have 1/3, -2/3, things like that. Of course, you can have -3, -1,000, 5, 1,000,000, things like that. Everything before. No, that it's not gonna be F, because we still have one more thing. It's not gonna be F. I had them backwards. So basically, this is gonna be this one right here, H. So you have the integers. These are the rational numbers right there, and then this right here are the integers, as well as, see, I was not paying attention right there. Can also be a whole number, right? So all rational numbers include everything before. Remember, for integers, there's no fractions, no decimals. They can be negatives. Why is still not H? Come on, Mr. Gomez, what are you doing? It's not H. Why is it not H? Why is it not H? Which one is backwards? Which one is backwards? What about whole numbers? So which one is the answer? F? No. Right there. So you start with the natural numbers, then you have whole numbers, you have integers, and then you have rational numbers. Of course, you look at them backwards. So natural, whole, integers, rational. See how it's really easy to not to get lost? But if you know the order, you should be fine. I think this is the last one for today, because it said 11. The answer was removed. However, if you picked A for that one, that wouldn't be the correct answer. So rational numbers, again, you start with the natural numbers, no 0, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whole numbers, it includes the natural numbers, and you add the 0 to that. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you have the integers. You can add negatives to that. No decimals, no fractions. And then you have the rational numbers, which includes everything before. You also have terminating and repeating decimals and fractions. So if you have 0.3, not there. Yes, you can have 2/3, because this is 0.66666 repeating, right? It repeats. You can have something like 0.232323 because it's still repeating with the periodic right there, 0.23 repeating. All right. So if you learned something today, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to smash the notification bell on. If you haven't at this time, please go ahead and consider subscribing. Or actually, no, please subscribe. Just go ahead and click the subscribe. Boom. Done. You don't even have to worry about that doing it again. Subscribe. Other than that, don't forget to check my other channel. Support this channel, link in the description. I hope that you're preparing yourself for STAAR. It's around the corner. That is it for today, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.